Horns up and welcome to a brand new episode of Headbanger's Kitchen. My name is Sahil, I'm a heavy metal musician. And I'm also the author of the recipe book called Keto Life. Hey folks, welcome to Headbanger's Kitchen Q&A, my brand new series where I answer all your keto questions. And if you do have a question that you want to submit for this series, in the video description box just below this video is a link to a Google document. So use that and submit your question. And before we get started, I just want to say, I am not a nutritionist, I am not a doctor, I am not a personal trainer. I am but a heavy metal musician who makes keto recipes on YouTube and has been doing keto for a number of years now. Anyway, enough jibber jabber, let's get started. Alright, so the first question comes from Sabrina, who asks, can you use 1 or 2 tablespoons of urad dal to make sambar? Dal is basically lentils for those who don't know, and Indians love their lentils. So Sabrina, I'm going to give you two perspectives to this. The first one is absolutely not. Lentils are not keto friendly and I would recommend that you avoid it. The second thing is, or the second perspective rather, is there are people who sort of try and fit these things into their macros. I did look it up on Google and urad dal has about 40 grams of net carbs per 100 grams. Now when you say 2 tablespoons, you're looking at 30 grams maybe. So, it's not that many carbs, and there are people who will count every single item of food they eat and they will make this fit into their macros. Now here's my thing. You could do that and you could squeeze this urad dal into your sambar, and there are two things that can happen. One is, you eat the sambar, you get happy, you don't really affect your weight loss in any way, and you are able to stick to your diet. Because honestly, like I've said before, losing weight is calories in versus calories out. So technically, if you're doing keto just for weight loss, I don't think this can hamper your progress unless the second thing happens. You do this and then you start to spiral out of control because you're like, oh, you know what, I used 2 tablespoons of urad dal in my sambar, so maybe I can also squeeze in some rice, maybe half a chapati, and suddenly before you know it, you're back into your old eating habits and you've lost the plot completely. So this is how I would look at it. I would say, look, forget about it, just stick to your keto. Urad dal can wait. You eat it on your cheat day or something. I don't think it's required. I think you can do without it. The next question is from KP, who asks, my wife cooks a big tub of cauliflower rice for me to eat all week. I was wondering if there is any other such rice substitute you can invent, maybe from cabbage or broccoli or something that we can do as a change in between. We can call it Sahil rice. Thanks, keep cooking. Thank you very much, first of all, for all the compliments which I did not read out. But here is what I can say. Shredded cabbage can be rice. I've made rice out of zucchini as well. So the same way you make cauliflower rice, you make zucchini rice. You can also make rice from broccoli the same way. People have made broccoli rice, and you also get shirataki noodles or shirataki rice, which is made from cognac flour or something. So these are the options that you have, and yeah, you can use any of them as a keto rice substitute. The next question is from Ria, who asks if I can give more seafood recipes. So first of all, I'm really glad you enjoy the recipes, and if you click here on the I button, I've made a playlist of all my seafood recipes in one place. So hopefully that will sort you out. The next question comes from Sanjeev Dangol, who says, for me, who is only in the first week of keto diet, can I use tomatoes and onions in my dishes? If so, what is the amount that I can put in a day? Sanjeev, and this is for a lot of other people also who ask me similar questions. I've just started keto. Can I include desserts? Can I include almond flour? The truth is, yes, you can. Why not? There's not like a progression that you have to follow to be on keto. So you can definitely add onions and tomatoes right from the get-go on keto. Now the amount of onions and tomato you use is based on your macros, which you need to calculate, and you need to figure out how many onions and tomatoes fit into that in the day. Generally, what I like to tell or suggest to people is Stick to about 100 grams of onion and tomato whenever you're cooking a dish that requires them. That's exactly what I do. And most of these dishes make about 4 servings. So if you really want to just boil it down to per day, I'd say 25 grams of onion, 25 grams of tomato. Next up is a series of questions from Raj. And he first asks about hair fall. Now I've done an in-depth video on keto and hair fall already, so you can just click here on the I button and watch that video for your answer. The second question he asks, keto, intermittent fasting, and keto and intermittent fasting, pros and cons. What is the best way for the third? Are there any precautions we need to take? So he wants to basically know about keto and intermittent fasting. There are no precautions you need to take. Fasting is just not eating. And if you're doing intermittent fasting, it just basically means you're not shoving food in your face all day long. So no precautions that you need to take in particular. It's absolutely fine. It's what I do as well. And I highly recommend keto plus intermittent fasting. His third and final question is multivitamins. I've known people taking pills. What is a natural way you suggest? So I've already done a video on the supplements that I take on keto. You can click here on the I button and watch that video for a more detailed explanation. But here's what I suggest. Eat a diet which includes a wide variety of foods. If you eat a lot of different foods, like a lot of different meats, including offal like heart, liver, lungs, if you're eating all sorts of vegetables like everything from spinach to cauliflower to broccoli to kale, you're going to get a wide variety of nutrition from different vitamins. And I feel then you will not need to take any mighty I'm going to leave the bloopers in. Any multivitamins. So that's my answer. Eat a wide variety of food. So Anna Williams asks me, do you think we should limit the amount of keto desserts and sweets we eat, or is it fine to have them as often as we like as long as they fit our macros? Yes, you can do that. You can eat as many keto desserts as you want as long as they fit your macros. That's absolutely fine. My personal recommendation would be to eat very small portions of them. So I would say if you make a keto mug cake, for example, don't eat the whole mug cake in a day. Eat half a mug cake in a day. Spread it out over a couple of days, because to be very honest, most of the keto mug cakes and desserts are very high calorie. So you will be compromising on some proper food as opposed to like if you spread it out over a couple of days. So that is my recommendation. Or you could save it for the weekend, which kind of gives you that feeling of cheating on your diet, but you're not actually cheating on your diet, and it might help you adhere to your weekly schedule much better. So it's completely up to you, but yes, you can eat them. Alright, Anushri asks, can we use rice bran oil on keto? I would say no, avoid rice bran oil. Alright, so the next question is from Ivy, who asks me, how do you track your macros and what keto calculator do you recommend? And I've already done a whole video series on this. It's called my Keto 101 series. So just click here on the I button and watch those videos. I've not only shown you how to calculate your macros and what calculator to use, I've also shown you how to log your calories, how to add custom recipes, and a whole bunch of other stuff that will help you. Vrushali asks me, have you used pure liquid sucralose as a sweetener? I have not found much research about this, but usually when asked about sucralose, people assume it's Splenda and not pure liquid sucralose. If yes, do you know whether we should be using it as our daily coffee sweetener in place of stevia? Because stevia gives me headache sometimes. I don't really know much about sucralose, so if anyone who's watching knows about it, do answer her question in the comments below. I'm not sure why stevia would give you a headache. Perhaps maybe coffee is giving you a headache. Because there's a lot of reasons you could get a headache that is not associated with stevia. Unless you're drinking like bottle full of stevia, I doubt stevia is the one causing your headaches. So maybe just look into that a little more. Okay, so our final question comes from Paul Hill, who says if you measure your blood ketones, what is the minimum number at which you feel you get the weight loss benefits from the keto diet? I have read that it is somewhere between 0.3 and 1.2. Alright, Paul, so I'm going to give you a very controversial answer. I don't think it matters. I don't know if there is, and in fact I'll also say it, I don't know if the reading on the meter has any effect on your actual weight loss, because weight loss really is calories in versus calories out, and you could be out of ketosis and losing weight because it's not dependent on being in or out of ketosis. Weight loss happens when you eat in a calorie deficit. And I'll be really honest with you guys, in 4 years of being on and off keto, I have not once checked my blood reading because first of all, we didn't get that meter in India, and when it became available, I just didn't feel the need to do it because my perspective on weight loss has been very different since when I started keto. For me, it's not about being in keto so much as it is about eating in a calorie deficit, because that's how you lose weight. I understand that for a lot of people being in ketosis is important because they're on keto for a different reason perhaps than I am. I'm on keto for weight loss, and weight loss is not dependent on that reading. Also, honestly, I don't want to live my life checking blood meter readings and doing all that. I'd rather have a more chilled out and different kind of lifestyle and lose weight in a different way. So I can't really answer that question in maybe the way you hoped for it, but somebody who checks their blood meter readings regularly or has experimented with this might be able to give you a better answer. So I'm sorry if I didn't give you the answer you were looking for. But yeah, that's the way I prefer to look at this. So anyway, I think that's been a lot of jibber jabber for this episode, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I was able to answer your question. And as I said in the beginning of the video, leave your question either in the comments below where someone from the community may answer it, or submit it to the Google document, and I will see you on the next episode. Cheers and keep cooking. Hey folks, if you enjoyed this recipe, please hit that thumbs up button and do subscribe to Headbanger's Kitchen. And if you do that, please hit the bell icon so you get notifications when I upload a new video. Anyway, click here for some awesome keto recipes, or click here and listen to some of my music. My brother is searching me along the path. My